Oh, did you find that booklet I brought for you from the transfer station?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I,
Skip.
it goes to,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Skip dropped to now.
yeah, so I had a copy of it and I couldn't find it.
Oh, who's it go to?
To the town office treasurer, I think, yeah, that's.
Yeah. Keep passing.
Yeah. The audit,
Oh,
transportation, or,
Skip
transfer
said he
station.
was afraid he'd lose it or do something to it, so he gave it to me.
Yeah, cause I had a copy of it to turn into the town office and I don't know where it went. I may have turned it,
Mindy does their audit too.
Yeah,
yeah.
but he said it was, that she was retiring.
Yeah, this is the last one she's gonna do for us and.
Really, because she's told us, she gave us a price and said it was good for 5 years.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
maybe she just doesn't want to do it for you guys.
That could be.
See if you want
Maybe
to
she's
do
just
it.
cutting back on the bigger things.
Yeah. Okay, it's 5 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and hello. Walter, we'll go ahead and start the meeting workshop for this coming year's budget. 5 o'clock. And we're gonna start off with the cemetery. Penny, you're on.
Okay, I'm here, trying to,
It looks like no changes.
no, but I would like to up the flag holders budget under supplies for the to start replacing markers with cast aluminum markers, where we have to replace the plastic ones every so often. I attended a regional meeting, and this seems to be the trend, is to replace with the cast aluminum, and they're not that much more expensive and certainly would last a lot longer.
Yeah, the St. George Legion is recommending that for cemeteries as well.
So
So
I
what
would
do
like
you,
to up that to 500 and then, get as many as we can. There's a, and start replacing those.
okay, so I got 34, 233,
No,
34, 8.
no, I had 34,408 before. Yeah,
But it's 34, 858.
34, 8. $34, 608. Something didn't hold it.
Should I change something else?
Oh, I know what it was. The porta potties. I put 200 in for the porta potties,
Yeah.
which we probably need.
porta potties at the cemeteries?
No, that's their,
When they do the work on the stones, they have a porta potty there.
Oh,
I guess they are for the cemetery. That's,
I actually took that. I didn't include a porta potty for the coming year because I don't think we're going to be concentrated in one cemetery.
okay, so you don't really think we need it?
No.
Okay. Back to the number that Terry had.
I have 34, 658.
With the additional 250, 34,658.
34,658.
Good, that matches. And reserves, were you gonna? You have something for the reserves?
I asked Hannah to include the 1,000 that we've been putting in every year.
Yeah. First thing.
Okay. And I think that's a good idea. I got some other reserves that I'm curious about. Cheaper. So 1,000 for the reserves. Anything else, Penny?
No, that was it for cemeteries and veterans.
Okay. Is there anything else on the shellfish? Is there anything on that we need to revisit?
Not that I'm aware of.
All right, I'm good with this one if everybody else is. Thank you, Penny.
Thank you.
All right. Now to start into the big one. You're up. You can come up here if you want to. It'll be easy. All right, we'll start with fire department on page 15.
How do you wanna go about it?
Now let's see, salaries and stipends and wages. Is that all
That's just the,
called?
yeah, so it was 2.8. Yeah, those are all. Just with that added in, and then for some reason, we had dropped one of the captain's stipends. One of these years for some reason, so that last 874, we're gonna be filling that position in like another month or so. So that's why that's back in there.
It looks like we did approve it at the last town meeting.
Oh, I was looking at the actuals, so I looked.
Yeah,
That's why.
you just haven't filled it, right?
Okay, yeah, no, we haven't filled it yet. Yep. Okay. Yeah, the training and the fires and maintenance, I just kind of added on 2.8%, just wasn't, those are so hard to judge on.
Yeah.
Where we're gonna be. So the health connections one for 814. So that's both fire and EMS because both sides have to have it. For the like respiratory questionnaire and stuff, and that's $22 a person to get the respiratory questionnaire done. So I did by what we have for members right now, which is 37, and come out with that 814.
So for the ambulance that are on with other departments, they have to have one of those on file for each.
Well, we have to, yes, we have to have it on file, but I can, like, if someone's on Roth, I could have used theirs if they
Okay.
paid for it, so that one could be a little bit different.
And so this is like if all of them are doing
Yep.
it on our.
Yep,
Okay.
exactly. Yep. Vehicle maintenance stayed the same, this flow test, same. Repairs the same, everything the same. Radio communication, we're getting very low on our pagers and our portables are they're pretty outdated, so I put this in there to start. Updating some of that stuff, we were really scrounging, because of the amount of members we have and stuff, we were really scrounging recently to get, some people didn't have a pager.
Are you guys still using pagers?
That's still the first line of communication
Oh,
from
is it?
dispatch.
Oh, but it's smart pagers, right? It's
That's just a regular old.
just says,
same old.
oh, it's same one.
Yeah, yep.
For some reason, I thought we'd moved past that.
No, we have iron responding on our phones, but that's a secondary notification, so.
So how many pagers? That buys 5? Is that what that
Yeah,
said?
and 2 portables. Yeah, stuff's expensive. They're like 500 piece, something like that. Pagers.
Yeah, and and is the county getting ready to change over their radios, or are these? No,
It's been, yeah, I asked about that, it's been in the talks for a while that going digital, and when that happens, like. A lot of our radios are gonna have to change because they're not ready for digital
Right.
service.
but some of them are.
Yes, yeah, well, we've been buying new ones, we've been buying them, so they are digital ready, so a lot of our new ones are, that we're good to go.
But they haven't made that step. yet,
No.
Are they?
No, and every time I ask, it's like, who knows when that's ever gonna happen, so.
Okay.
But like everything else. Hose testing stayed the same. So I put the next one is the RCM communications. I had upped that a little bit to wire in, some speakers and lights in those 2 spots. I'm hoping that will decrease a lot if we can run the wiring ourselves, and all we'll have to do is buy the 2 fixtures. So I'm hoping that they'll allow us to do that, but
So that's to put them where?
that is to put it, so down in the gym, so if someone's working up, like, down in the gym working out, it'll alert like it does up here. And out in the front office.
And which line is that on, the radio communications?
Yep.
RCM.
RCM, yeah.
Is it likely that everybody's gonna be down in the basement working on it?
But you never know. I don't know. Fuel stayed same, Verizon, I'm not. I just put the same number in there, I'm not sure if that, I don't look at those, so I don't know if it has gone up or not.
So it's about on track.
Yeah, it does, yeah. Our Knox County Mutual Aid dues stayed the same this year. The next big one was the new software. I've been looking into software for both fire and EMS. For tracking all of our assets, expirations. Like a bunch of, like all of our stuff for fire and EMS, it would be under this one software to be able to keep track of everything better, like training, truck checks. All of our gear, you know, everything, you name it.
Just do that with a spreadsheet now.
Yeah, yeah. And it's hard keeping up on expirations. One thing, well, I might as well just talk about it right now, because one thing that's changing very fast is back in 2017, the DEA had made a law or whatever it is about that it's illegal to purchase your narcotics through the hospital. But it never was like in place, never was adopted or whatever. So we all the services just got an email on like February 6th or something like that. And they gave us a deadline of March 9th that this was going into place. We had to be compliant like with this whole big thing. So all the towns are like, whoa, you know, this is crazy. And what that is doing is it's putting a lot on us, so we'll have to purchase all of our narcotics from an outside source. We have to purchase lock boxes for the station and for the ambulance. They have to be locked up. And then the big thing is gonna be tracking all this. There's gonna be a lot of tracking of, just like we do a lot of the tracking, when we go to the hospital, it's tracked there. For turning in the boxes, restocking, that stuff, that's all gonna be on us now. So. One big thing is gonna be when we use a partial vial of medication, we've gotta come up with a way that we dispose of it. So there's gonna be a lot of paperwork to go with this whole new thing that they're coming up with. Um. So, there is a software that we've been looking at that. Well, Amy is looking at it too for her Stockton ambulance, that is like a tracking software for this thing. Yeah, they really just threw it out onto us. We just got word that as long as we're starting to move in that direction by March 9th, that's gonna cover us for, I don't know how long, but it's gonna cover us for a little bit until things get figured out and situated, because it just came out of the blue. Within this past month. So I still have some stabilization grant money. I've got enough that I think I can get the lock boxes that we're gonna need for the station and for the ambulance. So I'm hoping to get that out of this past stabilization grant, because that has to be used up this month anyway. And then it will just come down to like what software is gonna work the best for us to track all this stuff. So I kind of guessed at the $3,000. I've had a couple demos, but it's been, depending on how in depth the software is, it's been from like $2,000 to $4,000 or $5,000 a year. So there's a big gap
That's gonna be
there.
a yearly charge.
Yep.
And this one here is for both ambulance and fire.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to look at, trying to find something that's gonna work for just every single thing in this department.
Okay.
That will hopefully help us out a lot. So that's what that is. The Maine State Federation of Firefighters, that's $17 per member. Right now we have 25 on the fire department. That's where the 425 came from. FPA is the same, training materials, travel. Training schools, the dinner went up $4 for some reason. Well, we were over the 120 this year, so I put 130 in case they rose up a little bit next year. Nothing on insurance for me. Private mentions the same, 55, all that's the same.
It appears we haven't been using the training budget. Is that just, it hasn't caught up to it, or?
Yeah, we were gonna have, we have two members in the fire, 1 and 2, that just started this January. And we got very lucky that the Knox County Training Academy scrounged up enough that everyone got in for free. But it would have been hitting on what they were saying, but we would have almost got that $2,000 from just that one school for 2 people. So I don't know, because of the Knox County budget, where they kind of had put a freeze on that.
It's frozen till.
Yeah.
April or May.
So I'm not sure, yeah, we've been lucky the last 2 years with members getting in, that we've been able to get them in for free. But who knows from here on out. So that's why that hasn't been used. All those next are all the same. Turnout gear, that's for another 2 sets to swap out, that's the same. The SCBA mask, they went up a little bit. I just got a recent quote on that, so that's where that 1380 came from. Same with the bottles, those went up in price. Air packs, those went up. The 5-inch LDH. So for the past 2 budgets, each year we've been purchasing enough to replace a truck. So now we're down to about 800 feet left, and all the large diameter hose will be brand new. We were lucky, we got some of that last year out of a grant, so I think 500 feet came out of a grant last year, so that helped us out. So that's what that $8,000 is. And that finishes off all the trucks, all the LVH. We don't need portable generators, we bought those this past year. That's what I had. Nice to see. Yeah,
Walter asked a question.
that's it.
Find it.
What was the estimated cost for just the speakers and lights and the office and gym? Did you have a separate cost for that?
37.96.
37.96.
They said a lot of that was labor for running the wires and that stuff, so I'm hoping that, you know, we can run the wiring and all that stuff and they just hook it up to the system.
Jeff Walter had a question.
Go ahead, Walter.
Thank you. Dave, what were calls last year and what's your running rate this year?
Wow. We did 121 calls, for the fire department last year. And this year, I don't have them all entered yet. I believe we're over 20 calls on the fire side right now. For the first 2 months.
But our year goes from July 1st.
Yeah, that's not how,
I mean, that's our budget year.
yes,
So that's really what we need, right? Not a calendar year.
Well, I mean, we're just comparing 2 years, so as long as it's 12 months.
I mean, we always keep track from January 1st to December 31st, the year 2025 calls. And I can look it up. What I sent you was off a little bit on the fire side, because not all the calls have been entered yet for February.
Mhm.
So I'm down. I mean, the number I sent you was down, I can't remember what that was now. Was it 80? So that would be closer to 100 from July 1st to now.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
So the only question, Jaws of Life annual service, $1,500.
Oh. You can see that. Oh, yeah,
It's just
I went right to the speaker, that's one.
Yeah,
Um,
it was on another sheet, it said it was for gifts.
well,
I just wanna make sure it's not.
I know,
for
where
gifts.
you,
oh, no, it's not for gifts.
I don't see Jaws of Life.
Yeah, mine has it.
Under the hydro test?
Mine
Yes.
doesn't have Joseph Life either.
No,
The one I've got shows hydro tests. And
Yep, mine's the same.
then Jaws of Life at 1,500 and then RCM communication.
but we didn't have Jaws of Life before.
No,
So
Well-
what is that?
So, since we purchased the Jaws of Life, I don't remember how many years ago. They never worked, they was never serviced. So this year I had them serviced, and that's where this 1,500 came from, that's what it cost us to have an annual service on it, so. They service the power pack, they adjust all the cutters, the rams, they change all the fluids. So that's what that is, that's why that's new, because for some reason we never used to do it, and I'm not sure why.
So where did it come out of this year?
I did it under our, maintenance,
maintenance repairs.
yeah, for equipment, which I mean, I can keep it under that if you guys want.
When you,
I just put it as a line item so I would remember every year that had to be done.
and for hand tools, you have $5,000. We have that 5,000 for the past 2 years. And we've only used 450. In the past 2 years. That's 9, it's on page I don't know, page 16.
Some of this is like, obviously the actuals right now are not, exact, because not exact, but I haven't spent some of this stuff.
Well, it
The year
doesn't look like it's
before,
been used for a while.
it hadn't, because this was in there for the, some of this was in there for the new truck, for mounting equipment.
So could we cut that back?
Yeah, I don't know where we're gonna be at.
And Jerry, we don't have volunteer accident coverage on here, which we've had in the past. Is that someplace else or is that?
No, I didn't have it until yesterday or today. I got the number, so it should be 550.
550?
Yep. It's 25 firefighters times $22.
Thank you.
There'll be a change when you're numbered, Jeff.
Yeah, is that? I'm showing. Yeah, I'm showing for the total insurance, 19,432.
Yeah, it should be 19,282. You would put a larger number for volunteer accident
Yes.
coverage,
Yeah, okay.
so it's 550.
And then I had a question on the PPE cleaning. What is that for?
That is for, we've always had in there for in case we have to run to Park Street Laundry for something.
Didn't we buy a machine?
We did, yes. But if we had like a ton, like we just. I left it in there just because if we had a ton of gear, like a whole, like we had a big fire, all of our gear got completely destroyed. If we needed it like faster than we can wash it, I just left it in there in case, just for. In case, I can take it out of there. This wash machine has been working great.
So I've got a total budget of, looks like it's 201 something.
I have 203, 401. Can we go through the totals of each one and see where we're different?
Can we reduce that hand tools to help offset some of the other increases since it hasn't been used?
Again, yeah. Do. Is it okay if I do half of it,
Yeah.
2,500?
And if we're gonna use the same software, hopefully for both ambulance and fire, do you think that that might be half of what we pay, or do you think it's gonna be 3,000 each?
No, it wouldn't be, no, I don't have this software in the ambulance budget.
Okay,
So it annually, it would just be whatever that number will be, for both. It's just gonna be one piece of software that covers fire and EMS. So it wouldn't be, 6,000.
You wanna go down there and double check the numbers?
Yep.
So salaries and stipends, 21,537.
Yep.
Wages 43,250.
Yep,
Benefits 5,280.
yep.
Contract services 53,152.
Mhm.
Fuel, phones and telephone or utilities 4,412.
Yep,
Dues, fees and travel 6730.
yep.
Insurance, what's that gonna be, 19?
19,282.
That makes sense. And supplies 4,700,
Mhm.
and equipment would be 2,500 less than 45,058, so
42,558.
that sounds good. For a total of
200,901.
9. So
Does that automatically give you your increase or up over last year?
1.63.
1.6. I didn't know if that was something else you had to figure separate.
Don't forget, that's already. Try to keep things as updated as much as I could.
that's if all of our budgets were that, I would be happy. That's less than a 2% increase.
Thank you, dude.
1.64.
Yeah, but you haven't gotten to the end.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Okay, I did have a question, I didn't know if you wanted to talk about it now, and that's the extra position.
Yep, I
Um,
need to talk about it, yep.
A lot of questions, a
Yeah.
lot of concerns too. So is your thought that it wouldn't be a full-time position, it would be per diems?
Yep. Per diem. Like a per diem,
Right.
like would,
Right,
like kind of one person,
but not the same,
yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
that it would be or wouldn't be?
Then that's the full-time. position.
Yeah, so that creates a full-time position.
Like, well. My idea was the majority of that time would be from the same person, because it'd be, you know, it,
Yeah, and I can tell you, even if we thought that was a good idea, I don't think we could get away with it. The Department of Labor would categorize that as a full-time position.
yeah. So Thomaston, like 2 years ago, started this same thing. I sat down with the chief, I had a big discussion with him. He, because I wanted to feel him out to see how this is working, how he treats it, just everything about it before I move forward with bringing it to you. Immediately, he said it was the best thing that they could have done, to help him out, and he's a full-time chief in Thomaston.
Right.
So, and when I met with him that day, he like openly admitted first thing that he was struggling with keeping up with the fire and EMS because he's a chief of, like I am there. And that's his full-time job, and he was like, you know, I am getting stressed out, because it's a lot, it's a ton. And by having this person in there, that took a lot of the burden off, with having a person there most of the week. To be able to do the little stuff that just, it doesn't get done because we're on to something else, you know,
Right.
trying to keep up with all this stuff, that the little stuff isn't getting done. So that's where I kind of went off the way they had modeled, the per diem firefighter. And the way they figured out the price was they picked an hourly wage and they did it by 40 hours a week. So that's where I started, was with that. They have one guy that's kind of the main guy, he lets him do kind of his own schedule, you know, just as long as it's within that hour range. Because he obviously has a full-time job, but, and then if it went, like, the guy was on vacation or something like that, you know, when they needed some work, they would throw someone else in to help out.
My other concern with and they wouldn't have that because they've got a full-time fire chief there, is what the line of command looks like with that individual in there. Here, that would be the one person who's here. So I would anticipate they would have some kind of a supervisory role over even the ambulance, right? Because they're the only ones that are here full-time.
Yep.
Or all the time.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
creating a position that's really a supervisory position.
Yeah.
So it would almost be like one of your captains.
Yes,
Uh,
or lieutenant, or, yes,
Right.
exactly, and that's what they do over there, that their main guy is one of their lieutenants. And, I believe that's kind of the same way they treat it over there.
Yeah, but I'm 99% sure we'd have to categorize that as a full-time job, and then we'd have to go to benefits, and so it would become at least 2 times the cost. Be double the cost.
They don't over there.
Get around.
And I thought when I asked him that, I thought it was something to do with a fire department. The full-time hour is like, and what he said that. It was it was more than 40 hours.
Hmm.
And I don't know why. But there was a reason, cause I did ask him that, and there was a reason that they get around that. And I
I am curious.
can't remember what the hours was, he said that they were allowed to work before their full time, it was over the 40 hours.
No, it's not here.
Yeah,
Our policy says 40 hours.
Yeah, I don't know where they're.
Well,
Policy says 30 hours.
About 30 hours, yeah, 30. So we wouldn't want them to even have 30.
And unless we're willing to pay for it, I would lean more for having a full-time chief as opposed to having a immediate full-time person. That's my personal opinion, but, which I think eventually we're gonna end up having to go to, but I don't think we're ready to do that now. And the other part is, if that's a firefighter and you get a call, so they're already working 40 hours a week. So as soon as you get a call
They
and
can't
it goes
come.
outside of their normal hours, then they're in an overtime situation. So you're almost guaranteed to create overtime for that position. So those are my 3 real issues with it. I'm.
I think it's something that needs more.
I agree with that. And that's why I brought it up, is because I don't think I'm ready to support that this year, but if it were fully baked out, I can see me supporting it, but it'd have to have a lot more meat on the bones. Cause I think you're creating a supervisor, a full-time supervisor who's here. And so how that relates to your position as a part-time chief would have to be detailed, because I can see they would end up having to make decisions without you. And there'd be disciplinary things that they would be doing day to day that you wouldn't even be privy to till after the fact. So it creates a conflict. Who do they work for? Who's not in hand, and that whole structure. So that's probably my biggest concern. That and getting past the DOL requirements on full-time, part-time, and overtime. But think about it.
Yeah.
I do like the idea that you're introducing it now. I just hope you weren't expecting it to.
No,
That it was an early,
yep, I had to start somewhere, and I didn't know if, we could even start like with a lower hour, week.
yeah.
But I started with off from, like I said, the model of Thompson, because it's been working for them, and that's, it was an easy way to
really curious how they get passed. And there might be some state of Maine limits on firefighters that takes them out, but I'm not aware of them. They usually keep up, so. But anyway,
Yep.
that's my thoughts, and I think Sue agrees that there's a lot of complications that need to be worked out before we move on.
Yep. Alright.
Okay. All right, anything else on that budget before we move on to, reserves?
Fire bond maintenance,
Yeah.
that's the same like we always put in. So, I bring up every year, the fire truck reserve,
Yeah.
I know we're in a bind. And just, I need to mention it because every year we're gonna go behind further and further.
Yeah.
When it comes time, that's,
Yeah, and that's just a philosophical, whether we plan to borrow or plan to save or plan to do both, and that's what we've typically done is both. And so I think doing it every year is good if all you're gonna do is use the reserves to buy it when it's necessary. But we've never done it that way, so I'm comfortable with
Okay.
getting personally.
Yep. Fire equipment reserve, that's, the 10 like toys. SCBA, that's Steve 5,000. I think everything's Steve the same.
Yeah,
I believe.
So, yeah, none of yours are like, we've got some reserves that have a targeted number. That for emergency disaster, targeting 30,000. I thought we were targeting 35 for the fire truck repair reserve, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, it's just the prices of our, with everything in this world, they're just going outrageous. So one little repair and you look at the bill, and it's like, holy smokes. Right now, $31,000. I mean, you can spend that very fast on just one truck if something, not even catastrophic, failed.
So fire pond, fire fountain,
Yep.
equipment reserve 10. Repair, fire truck repair 5. That's all of it. Other than the fire truck.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm ready. Elephant in the room.
All right, so the salary and stipends, that all stayed the same, just the whole one. Oh, well.
Real quick. We created and then eliminated and then you create some of the deputy and captain positions. Here, part of that was as we were shuffling around.
Yes,
Do we actually need the deputy director and assistant director? Since we have two people here all the time.
we do, and I'll explain why. So since this new, with the two new, the assistant chief and the captain, the duties that they're taking on now compared to what we did in the past, is helping, is huge what they're taking on. We actually have it laid out very well now with what these job positions are doing for the ambulance side, for keeping up with paperwork, doing our QA, UI, doing the scheduling, that stuff that's taking it off from me. So I can, let's see, do a million other things. So yes, I would fight with keeping those, because I can't get rid of those. There's no way.
can we, not tonight, obviously, but have a job description of what each one of those people do?
Yeah.
First, I
You did them a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Identified what each one of them is.
Yep, yeah, it's pretty much the same, except we might have moved which person does what a little bit, just because of, like our assistant chief is a medic. So she's doing a little bit more of the QA stuff, where we had it before as a captain type thing, you know, like little things like that have swapped around, but it's all pretty much the same as I said before.
Yeah, that
We
would be
had-
good to get for
Can you tell me the names of the people, David?
It's right on the side, David O, Ryan Goldson, Rebecca Hutner, and Rebecca Doyle.
Okay, that's not what I had, so that's what I asked.
that is.
No, that's not what I have
Rebecca
either.
Doyle was first.
So I'm the director, Ryan Goldson's the deputy director, Rebecca Hutner is the assistant director, and then Rebecca Doyle is the captain.
Thank you.
Oh, Walter has a question.
So is Amy just on the,
Amy's just a per diem,
just,
yep, she's in the 24-hour shift a week, and that's it.
Yes, Walter has a question.
Walter, go ahead.
Dave, did I hear that your wages and salaries are just increased by the COLA?
Yes,
So does that mean that your staff of professionals are on par with the other towns now after a lot of hard work on your part and Amy's part before you?
I wouldn't say we're right there with them, no, but we're comfortable, we're midline, I would say.
Yeah, you're higher than a lot. I did a lot of research. I mean, you're not the highest, but
We are not the highest.
but for definitely a small town, I think we're in a good spot.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
So the numbers that we've got are, it's 28,
26,
24,
that 20, yeah.
and 20.
Yep.
And last year it was 27, 25, 23, 19, so they all went up $1, right? So not really. Does that make
Yes.
sense?
Yes.
I think,
They weren't
was the one I had.
so you just did that to the.
Yeah, and I think, I remember, but if I remember right. Like one of one of them was a little bit less, I can't remember.
I think most of them were like, would have been. Like it was like 2760 or 2555 or something like that.
So overall, it's probably been pretty close, so.
Yeah,
Yes, yes, yeah. So then, I don't know if yours has the bottom one.
Driver 20.
Where I put
How you-
the average $24, you guys have that on your list?
Yeah,
Alright, so I just wanna go over something real quick.
yeah, because,
I know that made a huge jump.
yeah. So we figured for this, if you look at what the town meeting did, it was 317. And now it's up to 489,
right,
right?
yeah,
That's more than a 2.8% increase.
Yes.
And the reality is our actuals were probably running closer to 400 than to the 317.
So when I figured this out, it just. Was kind of in my knee ball once I finally looked into this, cause I was like, why are we struggling so much? So when I did the average, that 317 that we voted on in the town meeting. It came out to $18.15 per hour for one person on, so the average for two people, it came out to both people would be making $18.15 an hour. Well, our drivers were making $19 an hour, so if we had two drivers on, we were over, but if 7 days a week, if we just had two drivers on, we were gonna be over on them, we just. So it's. So I had, $24 an hour or something, I think I averaged like. I don't know how many a minute, like one medic and one.
I recount, because that's just. That, I don't think that number's gonna float.
Yes.
Personally, I don't think we'll ever get there from here. And especially if you look at previous years. It has been going up significantly in the previous years. Last 2 years, we were able to offset it with that grant.
Mhm.
Yes,
but we're not getting the grant this year. I think it's not baked in.
yes, it's
Right.
not big,
Right.
possibly.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
so,
yeah,
so I just, yeah, I just don't think we can. Now, what I did is I said, okay, what we would ideally like to have is a driver and a paramedic on, right? That would be the perfect,
that would be the bird.
right? If you always had a driver and you always had a paramedic. So I calculated it, and that saved $87,000 just using a driver, what your ideal is. And so I'd rather go with that number, but I'll tell you, it's still 400,000. It's a huge increase. And personally, I think we're gonna have to think, personally, I think 24/7 every day of the year, I just don't think we can think. I don't think I don't know if the town understands that having that 24/7, what the real cost of that is. That's huge. It's huge. Walter might have an input on that, but I just,
Well, the first year I was on the budget committee or the select board, some constituents came up to me and said, all you old people only care about fire and an ambulance. And I said, you're damn right. And that was 13 years ago when I was in my 60s. Same question as before, David, calls last year and this year.
We did, 356 calls last year for the ambulance. Well, for 2025, we did 356 calls. This year, last report I put in, which was probably like a week or so ago. We were already at 77 calls from January 1st to the middle of February. So we are skyrocketing this year so far.
Were they all here or were some of them?
All over. It's that's the way it is now. It's the towns, all towns are getting busier. Ambulances are running everywhere because there's not enough ambulances and all volumes going up. So, I mean, in the past, like it was so rare for us to get a second call while we were on a call. And now it's happening a lot where we're at MA, we're getting a second call. And that was never really heard of in the past for cell phones. It's just the calls they're really increasing a lot.
So,
But it's not just for us. Right now in Rockland, we're up like 400. I don't know. Yeah.
Jeff, going back
We're
to
up like 60.
your question to me in terms of how this is growing. Do you wait until it gets challenged, or do you proactively say, this is exploding and here's why, and ask people to revalidate 7x24, which I'm wildly in favor of, but it's becoming expensive.
yeah, I'm not sure I know which way to approach that, but because, I mean, the last time we thought about figuring out a cheaper way to do it, the town definitely said, no, we want our own ambulance and we're willing to pay for it. At the time, I thought they were voting with their heart and not with their pocketbooks. And at the time, I said, eventually, the cost is gonna be so high that they're gonna start realizing that their pocketbook needs to outweigh their heart a little bit. I don't know if we've reached that point. I think we're close. I mean, this is a huge, just for personnel, we're going from 317 to 489. That's a 25% increase. No, 33% increase. Just on the wages for those individuals that were manning replace with. And there's additional costs because we have 24/7, we have to have the bucks.
Mhm.
Because we're 24/7 and certain people are filling in on it, we run into overtime every single pay period, which we never had an issue with overtime. So the cost isn't just there, it's skyrocketed everywhere, so. And I do think that at the town meeting, we need to probably highlight this in some way, shape or form. Because I think it's a clear decision that the town should be making. Are you willing to pay this much money for 24/7 peace of mind? I mean, there's a lot of ways of doing it differently. When we first started doing per diems, that was based on when the big major calls were, right? So the peak calls were from 6 o'clock in the morning until 6 o'clock at night. So that's when you had people on duty. And then at night, at the time, we relied on 2 people to cover the off hours. And we didn't pay them anything extra. They just did it. Those days are gone. So we've got to recognize that it is a different situation than it used to be. But there's got to be some middle ground on this personally. I personally think it's gotten too high, but I'm just one person.
No, I agree. And I think John does too.
Yeah.
I take it the whole concept of regionalization, which I don't think the town would embrace anyway, for EMS, maybe for fire, but that seems to be a dead horse.
There's nobody championing. And for something like that, you've got to have somebody who's willing to say, I'm gonna work on this full time. As you know, a few years ago, I recommended at the county level that they just do a study. Just a study that takes all the towns out of it and says, where are you gonna put your fire trucks and your ambulance, and how would you manage if you had a blank slate across the county? They weren't willing to even look at that. So it's there is nobody out there who's pushing hard. I can say that some of the fire chiefs are trying to talk about regionalizing their decisions on equipment, on personnel, on sharing. But that only goes so far when you've got stovepipe organizations like the town. So you won't, and the reality is you may not see a savings initially when you first start going to a regionalized area, but
Look at the schools. What did we say in the schools with regionalization?
yeah.
We haven't seen a damn thing. It's going up just like everything else.
Yeah.
Everything is going up, and it always comes back to firing EMS that gets the point of this. Yes, I know we're going up, but if somebody is having a problem in my household, I want that ambulance there as quick as I can. No questions asked. I want it there. It's worth the month. I don't wanna wait 15, 20 minutes, half hour for an ambulance to arrive on scene if, my loved one's having a heart attack or something, or dying in a car accident or whatever. I mean, I don't know. It seems like we have to fight a lot about.
Well, I agree with everything you're saying about that, David. You're not the only people to get paid that get cut. The town office, we operate on a shoestring. Our wages.
I didn't say we're the only ones getting.
No, but you
Well,
said.
you said that we always come to you.
But you
Just
do.
the front.
There's no.
But that's.
It's not a lie.
That's because you asked for more.
Well,
I'm not asking for any more. I mean,
well, compare what's happened with the fire department with the ambulance. Both of those are very similar. Now I will say that the response time for an ambulance probably needs to be quicker than for a fire, but not very much. But look at the increase in the fire department versus the increase in the ambulance. It's astronomically higher on the ambulance side. And what she's leading to is the other departments, what they're doing is they're coming in with very small increases every year. Which is sustainable.
I mean, I don't know, I'm not sure, this budget is not up. Like, besides the wages, nothing else is up in this budget.
Yeah,
So for a 2.8 increase, I don't know. I mean, I could put that number. You know, a 2.8 increase at 300 and whatever it would be.
yeah, but we would outspend it, yes.
Exactly.
I
So I
agree.
don't know what you guys want me to do.
Which is interesting, because if you recall, in years past, I would always cut the budget for the wages for the ambulance. And the reason I always cut it is because we never filled the positions, right? So we built the budget on, at the time, you know, X number of hours, 2 people on, and we never got there. We'd have one, we'd have, some days we didn't have anybody. And so what we spent was always less than what we budgeted. So every year I would cut it. But that's not true anymore. What's happening now is we're filling every one of those slots.
We are maxed out, we have a full crew, we don't ever have to worry about not having someone that day,
Right.
like a crew member. I mean, we are a fully staffed ambulance, I mean, ready to roll at any second.
Yeah.
But we're also still going through a lot of overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah, that lately, you should not have been seeing any overtime lately. We have cut that, we have straightened that out.
And that's what it took, was you jumping in there and managing that diligently.
And that's where, the new captain, has taken over the scheduling, and since she's taken over, we have not had any overtime.
Would it be possible for you to do the paramedic or the advance for the driver each shift? Because you don't have drivers?
We have some, but most of our drivers have upgraded to EMT basic. You know, they're obviously further in their career. And the scheduling for per diems is very difficult. It's not like they're just sitting there waiting, like I can do. Like I can't just, no, it never had it work. Then we would have, if we said this is all we can have as a paramedic and the driver, we would fill half the shifts.
Well, basically, what you'd have to do is you would have to have a driver position, and then either a paramedic or anybody else, a licensed one, for the second position. So you wouldn't have 2 positions to fill. You have one that's filled by a driver, and then one that's filled by a licensed.
Why wouldn't you be able to fill them with the others if? Just because you only need 1 per shift. If you're filling 2 per shift now,
What do you mean?
well, you said if we went that way, that we wouldn't be able to fill them.
Because we have like 2 drivers. And they work full time.
That are just drivers.
That's it. It's not like
That's the
drivers,
problem.
just,
We don't have enough
no,
just drivers.
no, and
Well,
we'd be way overwhelmed with just drivers, because they wouldn't get to do anything, you know. I don't know, that's. The 2 drivers right now we have are full-time, they have their full-time jobs. They do per diem stuff at night or, well, yeah, both of them do just at night. It wouldn't. Yeah,
Well, I think we need to be upfront with when we take this to town meeting. Because I would really like the town to weigh in. On what direction they think it should go. In the meantime, for this budget, I think we ought to plan on the budget based on a driver and a paramedic. And I think that's what 30. That's 48 hours, so, or $48 per hour. So you could have two basics on and still do it. So there are other ways of doing it besides just with a driver. But the other piece is the day-to-day management on it. That's gotta be a high priority for, would you say you're working on that?
I don't like doing
Rebecca Doyle? Yeah, I would make that a high priority for her to massage and manage. Pretty much.
But it's not that simple, that's the problem. Is right now, we're at the point where if you say a Tuesday, these are the two people on a Tuesday, like it's figured into their schedules with the other per diem spots that they work.
Right.
That, okay, I know every Tuesday I'm in South Thompson, oh, I know every Thursday I'm in South Thompson.
Right.
And I mean, if you went to, geez, it would be such a mess trying to do that.
We just can't sustain this. We're such a small town. I mean, we already had somebody that couldn't pay their taxes at all this year that we had to pay by law. That we had to forgive it, and then we have, what, 6 or 7 others that haven't paid. And other people that are selling their homes and moving because they can't afford the taxes. So we have to think of those people too. It's not,
And by far, the number one driver in our budget is the ambulance.
Number one driver is the school system.
Well, yeah, I don't disagree with that, yeah,
Okay.
okay, besides the school system.
Yeah,
you're second.
And it used to be roads or
I was
garbage.
gonna say, what's the?
He's the head of solid waste.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he must cream solid waste now. Can I make a comment?
Yes, sir, that's exactly what we're.
So there was a long incident at our house. Took David and Jerry a couple hours, and the whole crew was there, both departments, to troubleshoot the problem. And so I got the opportunity to engage with every single one of his folks that was there. And one thing I can tell you is they really like working here, and they really like working for the people they're working for. Now, that's a non-scientific set of data, but it was very refreshing for me to hear. So we have, and I think that we'll see how we'll see how well the taxpayers feel about the great customer experience that they get from those two departments.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I've had a couple uses, and we've got great people out there working. Part of the problem is that we've got good leadership here. And so people want to work for us. So we don't have vacant spots like we used to have. It used to be, we wouldn't even fill the slots that we had. So it's a double-edged sword and we, because they enjoy working. That's one of the reasons we don't have to be paying the highest around. So we can pay a little less for their enjoyment of the work environment, so.
yeah,
Well,
if you compare to like St. George, you know, they have full-timers, they're paying full-time benefits. Just to have a medic on duty, and you know, we're doing that for like half the price than what their budget is for that ambulance.
Yeah,
and we're getting the same response time. You know, we're at almost the highest level we can be, most of the time. At least advanced or higher, and that's been the goal. We need to be advanced or higher. So we have an ALS, we're a ALS truck. And we're there, we are finally there, we're there 7 days a week, and we're an ALS truck, and that's huge for. I know looking at, you know, budget, the price of this budget, but for the price of this budget, what we're doing here. To have a high staff level ambulance. We're doing it pretty good for what our budget is. If you look at some of these other towns that are going full-time because of everything. There's a lot of towns now that are full-time that were not a couple years ago. Camden is, blown up with full-timers. Rockport's now full-time. They didn't even have an ambulance before. And now they have a fully staffed, full-time crew. Thomaston this year is going full-time. Their fire and EMS department. St. George is already full-time. You know, it's everywhere around us is full-time, and we're doing it, you know, for the.
We're still a tiny little town.
I get it, but.
And there's only so many dollars. I mean, you do a great job and yes, I mean, the ambulance service is great, but
I would hate to lose the progress that we've made getting our ambulance service to the best that it could be. You know, at this point, I would hate to lose that because of this.
Well, my recommendation still is to base the budget on our ideal, and that's a driver and a paramedic, which would cut that number from 489, 216 to 402, 960.
No, that's not what I got, Jeff.
It isn't?
I got 420, 480.
I haven't
I
seen
thought that's what you had.
12. Well, let's quickly do it. I used, oh, maybe, I might have used the 2719. Let's check the one. Thanks.
last year's rate.
Yeah, I might have used last year. Just double check. $40 52 times 2. No, times 20. 1.6. So something.
Who's got the number?
Okay, it's 40 hours a week. Times 52 weeks, right? Yeah, 52 weeks. Times 20 hours, $20 an hour, right?
When you did it before, you did $40. Cause it's more than $40 a week.
It's more than 40 hours.
40 hours a week.
But before you did,
Oh, that's what it is, yeah, never mind.
It's 24 hours per 7 days.
That's what it is. I was building, okay, so it's 7 times 24 times 52 times 20. So that, okay, I used the previous year's numbers. So that's 174.20 and 28 is 244,608. So that comes out to 8, 2, 13, 9, 11, 4, 19, 30, 23. Is that what you got?
I had 420, 480. Before, on your previous sheet that you sent me, that you sent John, you used 28 times 365 times 24.
Okay. It should be the same as. $420, $480.
Yes.
Okay. I wonder why it comes out different. All right, so that's my recommendation at this point. And as you're probably aware, there is one budget item that we do not have to get permission to exceed, and that's wages. And so, it just automatically comes out of surplus. So that's my recommendation, but I still think we need to highlight it to the town when we vote on it, so that. So that.
So what are we highlighting? I mean, it's in the town report, it's more. I mean, what-
Except that a lot of people don't see the fact that the budget has gone up significantly, and the reason for it is
Until they get their bill.
until they get their bill. And the reason for it is because we are seven. So I want to make sure that the town is still willing to live with the cost of that decision. It might very well be. I mean, the last 2 times it's been voted on by the town, they were overwhelmingly in support of paying whatever it took to get to that point. So it may not be an issue. I just think that it could be. All right, so having said that, let's see what else is in the budget for the ambulance. I don't think anything else.
What do you mean, the else really went up? I did up the vehicle maintenance just because we're getting to that time period with the ambulance that each year stuff is starting to, we're growing in our main, well, actually you can see we went over by 1,200 already.
Do you know what year the ambulance is?
That is a 2019, 18, 2019, my truck's an 18, that's a 19. Yeah. So we're already, 7, it's already 7 years old. And this is kind of around the time that
Thanks.
we've had a track record, it's the way it is with the hours and that stuff that it gets on it. Things start to wear out. Maintenance goes up, so that's why I have that one.
Looks like oxygen cylinders.
So that, well, not necessarily, for some weird reason, there was 2 different spots in this budget that had oxygen, I thought. And I merged them. I don't know where the other one is. Yeah, I don't know why there was 2 spots, so I just put. Yeah, yep. Oh, our training / instructor stuff, we have really been hurting with that training stuff on the ambulance side. And so that's why we upped that one.
Was that not a line in there before?
It must have been, it was a 0. 0, or mine has a 0.
Well, it's just town meeting 0, but there was nothing written prior to that. And no, well, 0, no action.
We have a training on it.
Yeah, there's an education and training, but that's dues fees and travel. As well. Well, 2045.
Well, there's the education and training, and then there's training instructor. Under contracted services.
That's,
So you have 5,000 and then you have 1,000.
I know.
The 1,000 looks like a new line.
Wait to see the 5,000?
The 5,000
Oh, wait a minute.
under education and training, under dues, fees and travel. And that went from 2,000 up to 5,000. And then. Under contracted services, you have 1,000.
With no history on that.
Yeah.
I could have sworn you did have somewhere, and I think it was probably under dues, fees and travel rather than contracted services.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
'cause
know,
education and training is
I didn't
more than-
write that training and instructor. in
more
there.
than doubled.
I'm not sure where that came from, because I didn't write that in there,
So that can come
because
out.
this was my. This was my working one that I had wrote all over on stuff that I had changed and. And I don't have it on them.
Okay, so the one that's right after oxygen cylinders, we can delete.
Yeah, that's not even on mine.
See?
Yeah, yeah. The weird one.
So then your education and training did go up to 5,000.
Yes,
So it looks like you're running close to spending it now.
No, but what I have was 2,000 last year and they're at 2,045.
Yeah, so in my mind, you doubled it. So you're pretty close to that.
where it was. And I think we're on. What's the?
Up to insurance.
Oh, yeah, insurance.
Volunteer coverage will be 264.
264, the other numbers are good, like unemployment.
Mhm.
So that makes that total for 462.
I have 40,774.
I'm probably missing something. Oh. Did you ripple through putting in the new number? For the wages?
Oh, I didn't change the unemployment, I mean, the workers' comp.
Yeah. That would be the difference.
What do you have for number for workers' comp there?
But it's off because again, I've got a bogus number in for wages as well. So we'll just have to build it to.
You can. Oh, well, workers' comp won't change, unemployment would, but I can change that, I did change that, 7899.
That's 3, yeah. So the 9774 is probably good. 40.
4774,
Yeah.
774, yes.
Supplies went up. Medical supplies,
Yes,
did you jump that because you're gonna have to find a new source for them?
kind of, yes, like prices going up, and then we did get stuff out of the stabilization grant for some, stuff.
Yeah.
That I don't know if we're gonna have this year. And we had spent 4,800 last. That one year, but we spent 4,800 last year. So I was going by that, where the call volume's already up, we're using more supplies, so. I stayed same with the pharmacy, which I have no idea what's gonna happen with that pharmacy one. Because I just don't know the prices of the outside compared to the hospital, I'm not really sure, I got a feeling they're gonna be similar, but I don't know. But I kept it the same, I know.
Argument could be made to going direct rather than going through the hospital.
Might be cheaper.
It might be, yeah,
Do you know where you can do that yet? Do they give you resources?
oh yeah, they haven't given us anything, nothing yet. Yeah. The main EMS really, cause this is a federal
Yeah,
thing, and the main EMS. They're not really, they don't have any guidance right now for us.
I mean, I'm
So
surprised
it's-
it would even let you order stuff because
Yeah, that's why, so. Don't have it here, cause it came after I did this. You have to get a DEA license to be able to purchase the stuff, yeah. So it's $888 for a 3-year license, so. It's not bad, but.
but you're gonna have to do that for this year's.
but what are the requirements to get?
Oh, they have a link that we have to fill out, and like our, Benji, our, director, medical director. He has to like do some
Sign
stuff
off on
for it, yeah, we're using his license
Oh,
to
okay.
do it, yeah.
Okay, so what did you get for a total?
The supplies,
Um,
$7,034.
yeah. I was looking at your the bottom line.
571674.
What changed on the supplies?
Nothing.
I don't think anything,
Oh,
7 3.
mine says, I don't know why my form says 6,834.
We got 500, 800.
On this 5,000 medical supplies, 800 pharmacy,
Mhm.
Oxygen, 1,034.
Yep.
And Napa ambulance supplies, 200.
Yep,
But I think the Napa, I think that last 200 did not show up in the totalization.
oh,
It's on our total, 7034.
okay, that's why mine's 6,800.
This whole spreadsheet needs to be revamped next year. I need to start early. It's losing its integrity.
And then medical equipment just stayed the same.
Okay. Still $135,000. Increase, so. Little less than 25% increase overall. But you look at the previous year. Same thing.
Yeah, I know. I think one of the biggest problems is the wages never, the bottom line wages never kept up with our wages.
Right, yeah, yeah, I don't disagree. Yeah, because I think in the past, we were just taking what it was last time and adjusting for the COLA or whatever they went
Yeah,
up.
and we were behind that year, we were behind the last year, now we're this far now.
Okay, so I do think with the budget committee and with the town, that this is gonna be the biggest discussion going forward this issue.
Yeah,
Ready to move on?
Yeah, let's look at reserves.
the only one, well, I believe the only one's the ambulance free, oh, we have two. So, ambulance reserve and equipment reserve.
Yeah, and the ambulance reserve, that 90,000 was based on.
Yep.
The extra 50.
It was,
So I think that should be 40.
So I put that in just because I threw it in just in case we got the stabilization. But
I would think by now we know.
but do we? I mean, even if we get it, we say we wanna take 50 of that, I mean, does it have to show in here right now?
No.
So
If we get extra money, we can
Yeah,
figure out what to
okay.
do with it.
Alright, yeah, so it doesn't need to show that then.
Okay. I'm done with this budget. I'm not good with this budget. I am done.
David, I'd like to go over actuals with you sometime. What you're telling Corey and what I'm getting, I have.
Oh, I know.
lines.
We've done this every year, for some reason, it gets messed up.
When you
At the
said-
beginning, when I talked to Corey, I said, give me a sheet with your numbers and I write a sticky note every single time
Yes.
with her numbers and it's completely wrong every time.
We'll work on it. We'll work on it.
I went through this with Phil, I've been through it with Corey, I went through it with the Jen.
Yeah. I've been trying to put the.
I think if you write the
budget line.
actual word, we've been using. them.
Right, so like you would put, contact services, fire maintenance or whatever, so I'd go to fire maintenance, I put 0257004 where it would come out of. And make it a little easier than.
But my number, my lines, because I have different
Right.
things
And
in
then
my,
you add it, and then,
yeah, I have different
Just
notes
on
and
that.
different things on my spreadsheet, so when I put it on my spreadsheet, it's not the same line.
No,
You're giving
if I look
Corey,
at-
so.
My personal
The numbers,
spreadsheet, so
the
I can
lines
keep track of it,
don't-
totally different. than
Yeah.
what I look online, it's
Yeah,
it's not even,
the lines.
Are our numbers at the end correct?
I'm not sure, I didn't look at that, but
I know
our line item lines are on.
Jen made a couple mistakes.
Yeah.
That I noticed, so, but I.
Well,
Yeah, and like out through the year, like that Napa auto parts one line
Yeah.
there. I mean, that just appeared, like someone puts that in out through the year,
I
but that's
put-
not even a line.
I put that in because I didn't know where it went and I needed to put it somewhere.
Yeah. that
But no one,
happens.
the line that they gave me didn't match anything, so I just put Napa because that's where it was
Yeah.
from, so I did that,
Okay,
so.
so I changed it to the deaf one, or you can change it to the deaf fluid.
Yeah.
That's something we have to buy every year,
Yeah.
yeah.
What about the
Sure.
revenue for ambulance? Because we count on a pretty hefty income from the ambulance these days. Do you have a feel for how we're doing on that?
I can pull it right up if you want, hold on a second.
Yeah, but that's.
I would think if we have more calls, we should make more money, right?
Yeah,
Right.
That's
that's.
about all bill. If we could bill for refusals, it'd be great,
Oh, if they won't transport.
yeah.
I mean,
Oh, but you
It's free.
see,
You
you still
use
go up?
supplies and everything in the house and it's free, you can't bill for it, legally you can't bill.
Wow. It's a racket.
Yeah, say that on line. But,
Yeah,
Yeah,
not going. They
I
took care of me, I'm staying home.
mean, we use a lot of stuff that.
Yeah.
We turn around and go home and
Yeah,
we have to, purchase the items.
Do you get a lot of people that refuse to go?
There's a lot of falls, like, so it's,
So they really just need somebody helping them
Yeah.
out.
it's just, they refuse transport and that's it, but. There's some others that we do stuff that.
We have a fall group.
We budgeted 175,000 for ambulance billing, and so far we've received 102,946.
Oh, good.
no, so we're probably doing pretty good.
Yep, and a lot of it is, someone's been sending out letters.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because that's the other piece to this, that the budget side the cost side has gone up significantly.
Yeah.
But so is the revenue. We're generating revenue that we weren't generating 5 years ago.
Yeah,
Yes.
I will say this year alone, a lot of people will be paying their bills.
Nice.
Maybe it's some of the wealthier shoreline people that are getting hurt.
I don't see a
No,
lot
those
of
poor
people
people.
to
that's
collect
true,
anymore.
we're bringing in as much money as our budget used to be.
Yeah,
But
that's exactly.
I remember when it was like $180,000 for a budget.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when it.
People complained then.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Right. Anything else?
No, I tried. I threw that big number in there because it had to be
Yeah.
thrown in there and glad we kind of agreed on a meeting point. I didn't know what to do, I don't.
It does demand the person you got doing the scheduling there, that they.
Yep.
A little more diligent, so that the actuals don't go too high. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm fully aware that it's probably gonna be higher.
Yeah.
But.
The overtime situation
Yeah.
has,
Yeah.
we are way ahead of that
You know,
now.
cutting out.
This
of that
past
doesn't
year
help.
was,
Yeah.
I don't even want to get into it right now, but this
Yeah.
past year was different. We're on top of it now that we shouldn't, I mean, unless there's something bad happening, we shouldn't be in overtime at all. And everyone knows that.
Yeah.
And they're not allowed to pick up shifts if
If
it puts in old.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so we're on the right side of that.
Thank you, David.
Yeah.
Thank
you're
you.
welcome. Anything I can do before the
Um,
budget?
I think Walter asked if every budget committee wants to know how we comparing apples to apples. How the runs are going for both fire and how many of them are in town. And that's true for the ambulance
How
too.
many are in town, how many are assistant
Yeah,
or mutual?
mutual aid.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's what I'd be ready for. And if you have a feel for the income that's coming in from. We usually rely on Terry to come up with that number, but if you've got a good feel for it, that would be a good response to that budget.
All right,
All right,
sounds good. Well, thank you guys.
you got anything else, Walter?
Nope, I'm all set. I appreciate the airtime you gave me and the learning experience.
Good.
Because last year I went into the budget committee really ill-informed because I hadn't been paying attention.
Well, it didn't show. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
David. Oh, thank you. Okay. What else? Public safety. And I saw these changes.
He did tell me if you didn't wanna put anything into the reserve because it was at 30,000 or so, he said that was fine.
Okay.
But he's,
Yeah, I think with this budget, it'd be like a good idea to.
That was just 1,500, right?
yeah,
For
for
the
the,
emergency. Or whatever it's called, what's it called?
Disaster relief.
Disaster relief.
where's that?
It's page 37, line 63. Actually, I'm comfortable with put 1,500 in, because right now it's at 23. In my mind, I've always had 30,000 for a target. Was another one though that it was exceeding what I thought the target. Oh, it was the fire. Fire.
And did you see his new email he sent today?
Yes.
Okay.
So he
I thought what you did in your numbers, Jeff, kind of captured what he said.
it was close, yeah, he was a little higher, I think, but he did 900 for EMA supplies. And then 1,200 for the radio,
He did add a little more
not supplies, in training.
with this email, cause he was taking away the reserve. He said, so he was like, I'm gonna add a little more to my supplies if we're getting rid of reserves, but
Okay.
since you left it in, I think. What he had in the beginning would be fine. Sort of take the 2,100.
Can we go down through the line, so
Yeah,
we're all the same?
because he split it up, and that's what I
Yeah.
wanted even.
Then he also added money in for some training for car seat travel and,
That's in this year.
right,
For
Oh, he's
him,
doing it, he's doing it in April.
yeah,
Right,
oh,
Right.
and then this one's for Thomas.
oh, so did we have money to pay for that?
No,
I thought he was
I
asking
think he
to,
already paid.
I don't know where he paid it.
I don't understand why we're doing it first. I don't understand why that falls under this budget.
Um,
I personally don't have a problem, because in other towns, it's the police department that gets
Right.
that training and then gives that to
he
folks.
said there's only one person at the EMA in Knox County that has it.
Right,
So he would like for those two to have it for this area, and he said that David was having an open house soon. And he wanted to demonstrate, like go there and demonstrate.
He was David was talking about that.
Right,
Yeah.
he was like, that's how I thought of it. But
and the other thing is, he doesn't have anything else in his EMA training line. And personally, I think $200 is less than what I would want to put into his training line. But
I thought it was quite a bit that he was asking to,
Some of that got moved out, so to. Supplies, now where did he move stuff? Had it,
he put 200 in training,
yeah,
and he put 1,200 in EMA radios under equipment. Well, I put it under equipment.
I put it under equipment.
yeah, there was 1,200 for radios, and then there was a budget for,
And then what did he have for supplies?
who did I
He
get
left
that?
it at 900
900.
Who would I have gotten that from?
from,
Did it, the email come to us from him, or did it? come-
me,
no, it came from,
Oh, great, okay.
So do you have a total of 79,720?
yes.
Wonderful.
Total of what?
79,720.
for general public safety. Geez, mine's nothing like
Well,
that.
that's because you don't have,
So it went,
dispatch.
so it went from 1959, okay. Yeah, I guess they don't have anything.
Yeah, dispatch isn't included in yours and that, we're estimating that to be 58,200.
And then you changed, I have 2,500 written down for. What is LHO?
Local health officer.
Yeah,
Okay,
and I changed that to 21. And I remember now what that is. He said, don't give me, this is the health officer. Don't give me a stipend. Instead, take that stipend and put it into an account
okay.
that I can use for people to get their water checked.
So is this class is just a one class thing? And that's coming out of this year's budget.
One this year and next year.
And then Thomas is doing one next year.
God, building grounds.
Yeah.
Oh, I completely, I thought, hey, we're moving along.
Yeah, well, and I did come up with some numbers, a little different.
Feel a little better about it. But actually, out of David's input, that new mandate on the drugs, I felt was an important piece of information. That could make a significant difference. Okay. Wages,
1,600.
1,800, and that's for laborers, right?
Oh, we changed that to 18?
No, I'm reading it wrong, 1,600.
Yeah.
We have no wages in for custodian.
No, Donna got done because Penny's no.
Oh, that
longer
was
there.
Donna,
That was Donna,
okay.
because Brenda's paid through contracted services because he's,
Business, yeah.
But we left that alone. We left that,
No, we took custodian out.
yeah, do we have it under contracted service?
we have Brenda under contracted services.
Yeah, same one, the last one.
It's called custodian,
Yeah,
I showed,
$6,240.
okay,
It's for 2 hours a week here, 2 hours a week at Guilford Butler.
comfortable with that, or is that one of them where you thought we should increase?
I don't think Bev thinks it needs to be increased down there.
I think Beverly's thinking, as time goes on, that she's gonna be able to have volunteers that will clean. And maybe just have Brenda do more of like the bathrooms and the floors, or
Right.
not have to have Brenda at all, but I think we gotta build up to that.
Yeah,
Okay, so we're comfortable leaving it where it is now.
Yep. What do you have for a total for contracted services? I can't remember what it changed now. I can remember some of them.
I'm showing 33,571.
Okay, so we got some differences here. For boilers, I have 1,750, I don't think that changed. Septic tanks, 1,500. Trash removal, 520. Water treatment system, 431. Mowing, 7,500. Fire extinguishers 1,500. Floor maintenance 1,000. Facility maintenance 10,000. Generator maintenance 500. Sprinkler system testing at Guilford Butler School 500. And I have to tell you, when I was looking at this, I'm like, why haven't we paid Eastern Fire in the last 2 years?
Yeah,
Apparently somebody canceled the contract. So Hannah's on top of it. She's
good.
getting it taken care of. That's to test the sprinkler systems down there.
Yeah. Which we need to do.
And the reservoir's not working, really.
So
Goodness.
somebody decided we didn't need that.
I don't know who did it. I don't know why, but.
Hmm,
So Sea Coast Security, I had 924.
okay,
That was a little increase there. New company, they've been bought out.
What do we use them for?
Security system at Guilford Butler.
We have a security system there?
Fire security. If there's a fire,
Oh.
they'll.
I was
So
gonna
so
say.
when David and Jeff were cutting that wall, the system went off.
oh,
And
oh,
I was at the hospital, for a blood test or something, and my phone kept going off that there was a fire in Guilford Butler. Yeah, it was funny. I called Hannah, luckily she answered. The PDQ fire bay doors is 1,000. Custodian, we have 6240. Now this other Seacoast Security fire alarm system, Jeff, you had put money in there.
yes,
We don't have a contract with them
Okay,
for the fire, the alarms up here.
okay.
okay,
I think when we talked about it, we decided we didn't need one.
good.
So for all those, I get that total of. 33365.
333.
And propane. It's so much easier when you have a whole year.
Yeah, I know.
So I did kind of go back to 2025. I added 25 cents because Henry got some numbers from Chris Seavey. So I added 25 cents to the price we're paying now, and I got the propane gallons last year. So I came up with 7,500. I'm willing to take your number if you want to use that too. It's.
Now,
What did you have?
75, I had 7,000, she had. It's just a wild, a scientific.
Those are
wild-
pretty close. They're pretty close.
The phone 2772. Electric. Our electric bill in this building has gone up tremendously, and it's because people are here 24/7. So I put 9,300 for,
Okay. That's not surprising.
the fax is 189. Fuel for Guilford Butler, I put up to 8,000. Electric at Guilford Butler is 540 because it's $45 a month. And the phone at Guilford Butler is 420. So for that, I get a total of 28,721. And then here comes a shocker number. Internet website, 5,629. And I'll explain why.
Okay.
The additions are, now we have internet at Guilford Butler.
Yep.
When we go to Trio Web, we're gonna need fiber here. So we're gonna get through the spectrum until November, and then we're gonna have to switch to fiber. Which will be with Fidium, like down Guilford Butler, that's an increase. And then our website needs to be ADA compliant by next April. And the cost of that is $490. Plus $160 for, what was that, their service fee or
The startup.
the
and that-
startup, yeah.
What makes a website ADA compliant?
I know.
Colors,
pictures, you have to describe the pictures.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
So,
Well,
that-
if they can't see the picture, they can't read the description either.
but they can hear it.
Is our website gonna be able to do that?
They will.
Or
we can have one.
Wow.
This is a cost from Dream Local.
And that's to convert what we have now to be able to do it, but in the future. Now, anytime we post a picture or put anything in there, there's some hoops we have to jump through to make sure that the data is vetted. to do that.
Yes. Yeah,
The
and,
county went through that much.
and Dream Local is willing to do that for cost.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Is that something that we can learn to do though? So that,
Well, probably. I don't
Yeah.
really know anything about it, except for I was like, oh, we gotta do it. I gotta put a number in here.
wow,
Yeah,
So that did make that increase quite a bit.
how much was that?
5629. And then we have boiler pressure vessels. And they need to be done in 27, and David helped me with this, he went and looked at which ones needed to be done, and they're $150 a piece, so we have 4.
okay.
Next,
$600.
yeah. And bottled water. Again, we're here, we got people here 24/7, and they're healthy people, they drink a lot of water.
What do you got for that one?
$400,
Oh, okay.
which I don't know if it'll be enough or not, but
Is that delivered?
yeah. So for total for that, I got 6,629. Then on the building, the insurance for building and contents. I had the total of Guilford Butler and the town office and all of them. But Bev and other people have asked me to break it out, so I broke it out. Building and contents, which covers this building, Little Rick Schoolhouse, the Little Rick Shack out back. The cost is 2,981. And the insurance for Guilford Butler is 2,590. And I think that was the only change. It didn't change the total, which is 6,915.
Oh, the top, the total insurance.
Hmm?
Oh, so where it's 5,571, that's 2,981.
Yeah,
And where it's 3,000, that's 2,510. Oh,
yes.
okay.
Yep.
Why did workman's comp go up so much?
We had a claim, we had 2 claims, right? With Jerry. Yes, yeah. Yes.
So the bottom line top number is 9,915. For insurance. Is that what I heard you say?
Insurance, I have. Gotta give the new mouse. Insurance, I have 6,915, yes.
6.
The dollar difference in mine was. As if mine said 6,916.
Yes, oh, sometimes it loses, it does say 6,916 on the, on the department heads.
Yeah,
Sometimes you lose dollars here and there in the spreadsheet. Miscellaneous supplies, I put 3,000. For a total of 80,410.
I didn't increase that much. Why?
why my total says 47.
Yeah, that's.
So it looks like it increased a lot. 80,000 what?
410.
This is one we do have. Building reserve. last year we put 30,000. But I thought that was to bring it up to,
Because we brought the generator,
right,
kind of wiped it out.
so do we need to put any more in that? Is there some cost out there that we're?
Some cost I could think of, is Gilbert Butler, right?
Right,
But I think that's. You know, with the donation money. We have the relocation fund still. That I feel like, and unless it blows up, I think we're. Then we have insurance.
yeah, so okay, so let's make that one 0. Which I think is what you originally had.
Yeah, there was nothing there.
It wasn't because I necessarily recommended it, it's because I forgot it.
So now I'm under reserves, I've got 5,000 for the fire hall. Nothing for the rebound, we're actually gonna take money out. Nothing for the fire truck reserve,
So,
10,000 for the equipment, fire truck equipment reserve. 4,000 for the ambulance reserve,
4 or 40,
40,
okay.
40. And 5,000 for the equipment and ambulance equipment reserve. And town landing, anything that's left over, but I don't think this year we're gonna have much left over. It's all gonna go directly to the budget.
Yeah, oh yeah, probably because we're doing the striping.
Right. And then paving reserve, nothing for that. SCBA, 5,000. Cemetery, 1,000. Building reserve, 0. Fire truck repair, 5,000. Emergency disaster, 1,500. Recreation reserve, 5,000. Forest preserve, 10,000.
Maybe we should throw a little something into the building reserve, that brings it down to 87.5.
Yeah. So you wanna put it in 13. 12,500. I'm good.
Well, it doesn't hurt to have a reduction somewhere, but. So how much would you put in there, Terry?
I don't know, to make it an even,
12,500, that'll get us to 100,000.
yeah, that'd be good.
12,500,
Yep.
and then the total is
100,000.
100,000.
Still a pretty good decrease there. All those will ripple through to the total one.
Yeah. So I will print everybody new papers tomorrow,
Thank you.
and new front page and.
So for Hannah, we need to now send this to all this information to the budget,
Oh, yeah.
and then set up with Walter. Confirm the dates and then with the department heads, which dates they want.
Okay.
I don't care which days they go on, but I would prefer the ambulance and fire are a day by themselves. That's right. It's my preference, but it doesn't have to be that way.
People want anything? Yep, I think the only people I haven't heard back from about for the budget committee is Sandra and Penny, but Sandra was also here that night. When we made the dates, but haven't gotten clarification from her.
I saw Kate as, she's good, I'm good. Okay, You got all those. Thanks, Hannah.
Yeah, I got the rest of you guys.
And then for Terry, you need to start thinking about revenues.
Yes.
I've already started my spreadsheet on that, but it's woefully inadequate so far.
I can get you a up-to-date revenue and get that sent out to you, at least give you,
Yeah, give me some, yeah.
and I'll look at it too.
Because I do think we're gonna be. Our increase this year budget is not gonna be that significant. Even with the ambulance. But we're down significantly on revenue. I think last year we had 80,000 from that grant. That's
Yeah,
gone.
that's a lot.
I really don't wanna depend on the surplus again this year. As much as I'd like to, I just don't think the surplus can take it again. You may do a little bit of things that we budgeted for last year that we're having to spend this next budget. But for the most part, I don't want to hit it as hard as I have. And just for information, I think the cash flow issue, I think a big part of it was the surplus.
I think so too.
But I do think that there are some things we could have done that, like when we put money into the reserves. We can put the money into the reserves at the end of the year, or at the beginning of the year, the middle of the year, whenever we want to, right?
Yeah,
So that should, managing that can help with cash flow.
yeah, so we probably should do that the end of the year. We usually do it in October just because that was
Right.
historically when we did it, but if we do it the end of the year. Yeah, I think that's
It'll
good.
help us get through
Yeah,
the
that,
April time.
yeah. That's a good idea.
Yeah. And this year, we're gonna put money back in. Right, we're paying ourselves, and we just delay doing that as long as we need to
Yeah.
help very much.
Yeah.
Because those aren't.
Close it up together.
Okay. Anything else? Budget or otherwise? Well, I just want to say thank you to both of you for getting us through this, because I'll tell you the truth, 3 to 4 weeks ago, I was concerned that we'd be getting this far as fast as we did, so. But as Terry probably knows, I like this stuff. This is.
I didn't do that.
Yes.
I don't.
Yeah, I like working with spreadsheets. I like trying to figure this out.
No. Firewall